Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say, rejoice. Let your epiekes, your tolerance, your measure, your good measure, your modesty, your affability, your general good composure, your attitude to things, be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. If the Lord is at hand, there can but be joy in the air. The condemned criminal Claude Newman was beaming with joy when he died in the electric chair in 1947 because he had seen Our Blessed Lady and couldn't wait to see her. The great saints have anticipated the joy of Holy Communion, and some were given the gift of tears. And many were the saints who at the end of their life had that joy knowing that the Lord was truly near. If we are so attached to the material and what we cannot hang on to, then we cannot have that joy. If our joy is based on having anything indeed outside our soul, then it is a very fragile joy. It can be lost because it is dependent on something of a different order. Our soul is immaterial and immortal, and it needs that order of things to lift it up. But there are other things that contaminate the soul and take away its joy, and St. Paul does indicate some of these. Midden merimnate, of nothing be anxious. This element of losing at a deep level one's peace, serenity, and therefore joy, because of being overcrowded in our mental system with concern for things outside our soul, is a fundamental problem in our human existence. The problem of over-concern, of worry, anxiety, inner turmoil and tribulation, linked with the fact that we have to have certain things happening or not happening outside our soul, otherwise we will not permit our soul to have joy. We condemn ourselves to be lacking in joy. St. Paul indicates that we need to take our things upwards. We need to bring them to the power that made us. And so he has two routes for prayer coming in here. But in all things, in prayer, prosevche, and deise, and petition, supplication, with Eucharistias, with thanksgiving, let your demands, your requests, be made known before God or to God. So we have here prayer, which is a state, and petition, which is an act. We need to be in that mode of prayer at all times. Indeed, that same apostle elsewhere does teach that we should pray without ceasing. But then within that prayer we have that instinct to plead with the giver of all and leave the problems with him, for he is big enough to handle them. Indeed, he has a considerable amount of experience in handling the world, far more than we have. And if we have faith, then we can leave them with him, these big problems which clog the horizon and take away our global vision. Life is just too short to be given to the material by the soul. The soul needs to look at God, and in God to see his vision of things, in which there is peace, and therefore a participation in that joy which He is. If we're looking at what is less than He, we condemn ourselves to absence of joy during our innings on earth. And then this fundamental ingredient of joy, peace, is given. And let the peace of God, which is beyond all that we can comprehend, keep your hearts and minds, tas kardias keta noimata imon, in Christ Jesus. It actually says, will keep. Well, this is something that we can take with us on this Sunday, especially on a Sunday in Advent, close to the end of Advent, because that period of Advent is one of the most unpeaceful of the year on the material level. And it is important that we do not miss the joy and the peace of what we are doing because of an unpeacefulness in trying to do it. It would be topsy-turvy. Peace has to be there for joy to be there. If it is not, then our joy is bound to be on the surface, peripheral. It is bound to be some kind of fabricated and forced joy, the joy that one finds in loud laughter in the pub, for instance, not the joy in the heart of a nun gazing at the monstrance. They are of a different order. One will not go away in eternity, the other will, and indeed long before then. There are people coming to the Baptist aware in their heart of hearts that there might be something not right in their life. John does not give one global answer for all, but he gives an adjustment which each category can apply so as to make good the indifferent situation that they might be in. Basically, they should treat others well within their sphere of operation. That can apply also unto us. C.S. Lewis, after his conversion to Christianity from some kind of philosophical agnosticism, did notice that actually he was doing the same things afterwards, but he was doing them in a different way. There is, however, one thing which is valid for all. It's the advice he gives to the soldiers. Be content with your pay. There, again, we lose much peace and therefore much joy because we are not content with our lot. Discontentment. We are not able to rejoice in the simple joys that are there, because we are seeking others that should be there. The presumption of rights, of questionable rights, is a great fountain of pain for the soul. If it abdicates over these so-called rights, it will lose less unpeace and perhaps find unexpected joy. For after all, joy is elusive, and it comes to us usually when we're seeking it least.